Hello, everyone. Happy Easter. Glad you are spending it with us on Performance Racing League, PRL. I am HoopBK, and I realize that I have put in the wrong name, the wrong title for the stream. This is Tier 1 action, not Tier 2 action. Tier 2 was earlier today. Apparently it was nice and close in their qualifying, so we'll keep an eye on our Tier 1 qualifying. Here around Monza, the Temple of Speed. CAC Supreme will be the first one on track. Love Monza. I think I've had like 3 PRL polls, and 2 of them around around Monza, excuse me. Always a fun time, so we'll hop on board with CAC. We might do it with Bean just because he's the championship leader right now, and see how Mr. Bean attacks the circuit. It's Easter, so understandably just 14 with us today. I think it was similar numbers for Tier 2. I was actually really close to joining the Tier 2 race. It was my first PRO race in a while, but family showed up like as I was turning on my PlayStation. So that will have to wait at least another week. We'll go on board with Mr. Bean. I'll actually pull up telemetry just for the onboard lap. So your lap starts way before Parabolica. Dumping battery, DRS open. So we head down the front straight all the way into the first corner. For Prima Variante. Heavy braking zone from over 200 miles an hour as we go into Curva Grande. Foot to the floor majority of this lap. Braking around the 100-meter board. Flip it left and right into Della Raja. And then through the Lesmos. One. Pretty easy to run wide through each of them. A bit of a flick to try to get through the second one. Want to keep as much momentum up as you head. Oh, whatever the straight's name is. Can't remember. Go under the tunnel. Brake at the 100. Flip it through Ascari to the left. Ride the curb to the right, and then not running too wide on exit of Ascari, and you take it all the way back around to Parabolica. Very late to the 50, keeping a ton of momentum here as it's CAC in the 120s, Rusty in the 119s. I imagine Mr. Bean will be into the 118s, yeah, and he will, 118.3. Using almost every ounce of battery there. Pole lap will certainly be in the 118s. I believe the last Tier 1 pole lap around here was a 118.1 from Mr. Bean. Adri K, 118.6. Zavit, who I believe is making his PRL debut in the 119.8. So we have a couple other times onto the board. Joe Bidome, not quite a competitive lap. We'll see what else he has in the tank. Here's Kobe to the line. Can he break it to the 118s? He does, and it's actually going to be P1, 118.2. And that Crow McLaren, so he is on provisional pole. Still 13 and a half minutes left, of course, in the session, but full throttle for so much of this lap. So when you're setting up the car for an event at Monza, it's a bit of a compromise, right? You want to rip the wings off so you get all of this top speed through the 2, 3, 4 areas of the track where you're wide open. But then you get some of these heavy braking zones like turn 1 and turns 4 and 5, and you need that downforce just to get the car rotated. So we'll see who is compromising downforce for top speed and vice versa. Brian has invalidated. Who was it that just went across the line? It was actually Nico John. I think we were close to on board with him. 119.8 puts him P7. J Story going for another go here. 119.5 was his first lap. In the Sauber. They're aiming for about the 100, somewhere between the end of those advertising boards and the 100, depending on how brave you feel. He will downshift into 5th to make Lesmo 1, and then Lesmo 2. Same thing here. Runs a little bit wide, but keeps it on the track. See, just dumping batteries ahead towards the Ascari. And runs just wide through turn 9, the center of Ascari, and invalidates. So unfortunate there. See if he's going to be able to get charged back up in time, if he even has the fuel to get charged up in time. I'm not sure he does. Zabit is not pushing. He may have someone pushing behind. No, it's CAC also on an out lap. What about Tar Heels, our series stalwart? He's recharging battery, so I'll say probably not pushing. Yep. Gordsaw sitting at P4. That's CAC's teammate for today. Is that for today, or is that for the season, actually? Oh, for the season. So, teammates, Gord Sauce and CAC Supreme. We're getting those tires warmed up for another run here. Rusty, who sits P6, is finding a little bit of time through Sector 1. Seems like he really had to back out of the throttle to get the car through Lesmo. Already back on the battery, dumping. Remember, you should always do your dumping before the race starts for to lose the appropriate amount of weight. Helps you go faster. Especially if you had an Easter lunch today. See, I'm not sure if this is going to be an improvement now or not. It's going to be slim. Rusty misses out on an improvement by 0.004 of a second. Slim indeed. I don't know how I called that, as Gord is invalidated. Craig improving through a sector. CAC, Gord's teammate, will find 0.8 and move to P7 on the board. This is Tar Heels that's about to come to the line. Uncertain. If it was, he did not find any time. Oh, you see the lock from Adri just to get the car slowed down into 1. Monza turn 1, you know, a bit of a meme. Monza lap 1, turn 1. From trying to make up as many spots as possible, as quickly as possible, as our provisional pole sitter goes off trying to stay out of the way for those on a hot lap. Jumps the curb and is back on the circuit. Mr. Bean in the Red Bull finding a half a tenth through 2 sectors. We'll go on board with him as he finishes off a lap. Can he get past Kobe Plays here on his second attempt. To the line he goes. 1:18.0 is your new fastest time. And propels the Red Bull to the top of the board. So it really propels if he was P2. So Mr. Bean, he actually has a pole to defend. As I mentioned earlier, last season, round 13, put up a pole lap around Monza of 1:18.1. So 1:18.0 is probably the fastest we've seen, at least in a long time. Kobe's about to get going again and respond already. The lock into one. Come back to him is Craig. He's about to start pushing. How about Brian to get his first lap on the board? 1:19, we'll call that a 5, just under 1:19.5 is good for P5. Kobe Plays already found a 10th, so they're going punch for punch, blow for blow here in this session. Mr. Bean and Kobe Plays. Kobe has been able to take it to the Bean. It's actually beaten him twice in 3 rounds, 2 P2s, and Mr. Bean has retired from the session. So 1:18.0 will be the best he can do. Kobe has 2 podiums, 2 P2s, and an 11th. That 11th, of course, was behind a Mr. Bean victory at Bahrain. So has beaten him twice and lost to him once. They are a 1 point apart in the championship standings. So I've been talking about Mr. Bean, but our actual championship leader is Joe Biden, who sits P13. Still looking for a clean lap here with 5 minutes to go. A victory at Azerbaijan, a P8 in Bahrain, and a victory in Jeddah last time around. As pretty much everyone's in the pit lane, getting geared up for their final runs. That's what I get for not watching any of the Tier 1 streams. Usually I've been doing the Tier 2 streams and then just enjoying my afternoon. Fridge has been handling Tier 1. And it sounds like he's doing a fantastic job with it, but understandably, Easter, you don't want to be doing this. But I am happy to be doing this today. Everyone in the house is a little under the weather, so couldn't really go anywhere. Didn't want to get any family sick. Zabit running a bit wide out of the second Lesmo. Invalidates his lap. Tar Heels, only one pushing, within a 10th of his fastest time. Down to inside 4 minutes to go. Qualifying session in Tier 2. 1,000th of a second between our pole sitter Justin and who was P2? It's Justin and Rossi Games, actually. So Justin getting the pole by a mere 1,000th of a second over Rossi. I think Rossi had to retire pretty early on due to internet trouble, which is brutal. Zabit across the line to Tar Heels. Oh, Tar Heels is still pushing, but he is still a touch off the pace of his fastest lap. Yeah, will not find improvement there. Zabit pushing again. Says he's found a load of time through Sector 1. This is my first look at him, if not everyone's first look at him, so we'll be interested to see where he matches up pace-wise. But half a second in one sector already jumps him. If he can maintain that, will jump him into the top 5. The Aston Martin, though, low on battery. 0.7 up as he heads towards Ascari. Keeps it within the lines for the most part. It's at a purple sector, too. We'll go back on board to the Aston Martin. What does he have in the tank for Parabolica? Is him feathering the throttle just to get the rotation. It's that steep turn in at the start. And really loses out in the final sector. Maybe just a ton of battery early. Ends up P8. He was up 0.7 and only ended up gaining 1/10 after it was all said and done. Still finds a couple of spots. Gortsas finding time. He has a chance to find a spot or two. Chasing a top 3 start. So now still splitting the row with Adri. And he gets there. Yep. So he will still be sharing the second row with Adri, but will have the preferred line instead. So gets him by 0.03 of a second. How about his teammate, Cac Supreme? I think just getting started, actually. I was waiting because I thought the Williams just behind Tar Heels was Gordon. It's actually Cac starting a lap. So 10.5 down. Rusty will call it a session in the final minute, so 1 minute to go. Kobe on an out lap. He will have one shot to get by Mr. Bean. He was on for a pretty good lap earlier, but had to abandon. And the McLaren gets it going with about 30 seconds to go. Into turn 1, a lot of curb, and then a lot of curb into turn 2. It's going to unsettle the car and will cost him time as he heads down towards Curva Grande. Furzy hopping in with just 20 seconds remaining. Furzy another... Oh yeah, Kobe off the pace now. 0.4 down through one sector. Let's see if he can recover any of that time. Furzy another heavyweight, and he's gone again. Never mind. Furzy was hyping you up as checker flag waves. The vote still is yet to get a time in. We'll keep an eye on that. Is Kobe going to have anything left in the tank? No, still at 0.4. Adri within 0.5 of his time, but needs to find some improvement. Joe Biden P3, so finally puts together a good time and just misses out on P2. Look at that, 0.04 of a second as Kobe invalidates. He is safe at P2 for now. Adri's back in the green, looking to jump Gore to get back on that second row. Brian finding time as well. It's not going to be enough so far to break into the top 6 as J-Story is sitting in 6th. One of the kick Saubers. The Mercedes man to the line. He finds time and unseats Gord Sauce for P4. Zabit not pushing. Is Cac pushing? I don't believe so. Is Tar Heels pushing? He's pushing a little too hard. He loses it through Parabolica and will hit the inside wall. Evote unable to get a time still on the board, so he will start from the rear of the field. So we'll wait for the cars to circulate, but this is going to be your starting order. Mr. Bean, I guess pretty confident in his lap, retires with a generous amount of time left in the session. But Kobe plays unable to respond, and Joe Biden unable to pull out enough time in his one real clean run to unseat the Red Bull driver from pole position. So we almost got into the 117 territory, but Mr. Bean, a 118.085 is your pole sitter. Kobe plays will start next to him on the front row. Joe Bido and Adri share row 2. Gord Sausage, J Story on row 3. Brian and Rusty on row 4. And Zabit in his debut will start 9th next to Craig in 10th. We have Kak and Nico John, 11th and 12th. Tar Heels will start 13th next to Evote, who was unable to get a time in his Haas. Furzy teasing us. Furzy hopped in, got right back out. Almost had 15 car field. Kak says, how come I'm slower in T1 than T2? Fatigue? Maybe you're thinking too hard about it now. You know what a good lap around Monza is like, so you're trying too hard. Craig says, Furzy saw Bean's time and thought, stuff that. Yeah, it's going to be pretty close. Furzy has been able to take it to Mr. Bean recently. There was a good run last season where Furzy was finally able to top him in a race. Oh. So you couldn't join a car, probably? Oh. EA needs to fix its game, but we've been saying that for 5 or 6 years. Furzy says it kicked him. He couldn't get in. I mentioned it a little bit before our standings, but I'll take a little bit deeper of a run through while we wait for our drivers to get their setups in. Joe Bidome at the top of the board with 94 points and a solid lead, 25-point difference to Mr. Bean in second. Another point to Kobe plays in third. Oh, we're not seeing J.H. Rutt. Furzy, it was a 118.0, like just shy of a 118.1. One of the faster Monza pole times in recent history. I am kind of working on a bit of a history thing, but at least within the last couple of seasons, the fastest pole time we've had. I still don't think we've hit a 117 yet. And if we have, it had to be like a premiere days, like season 5 or 6 or something like that. Had to be one of the Norwegians. So J.H. Rutt not joining us, but he is P4 in the standings at 59 points. That's 35 points back. Adri is 5th as we get formation lap underway. Excuse me. Gord is 6th, just 4 points back from him, and Brian 7th, another point. So that's really the top 7. It's a little bit more of a gap to those behind. That V-Car duo leads the constructors by 20 points over the McLaren duo. That's Kobe and Blitz, who we saw in Baku and not since then. So keep an eye on those championship contenders as we go through our formation lap. A little bit of everything here. We have mediums, hards, and a soft runner. So front row on mediums. J Story 6th, Brian 7th, Craig 10th, Nico John 12th, Evote 14th, all on the medium tire. Everyone else except for Zabit on the hard tire. Zabit going bold, going aggressive. You know how aggression is lap 1, turn 1 here at Monza, but let's see if it pays off for him. He's primed to make up some time and positions on those red wall softs. We had everything set here. You guys know me, I like the position change as we get through the first couple of laps just to see the comers and goers, the winners and losers of the first lap or two. Mr. Bean brings his Red Bull back to the grid. They're all pretty close together here as the green flag waves. Everyone pulls into their spots. And the DSQ parade commences. Let's see if we are blessed with good camera angles here on the run down to turn 1. As the light sequence kicks off. Sunday Tier 1 action about to be underway from Monza. Lights are out and off we go. Mr. Bean, a lot of ghosting through the field. Mr. Bean immediately gets to the inside to cover off Kobe. Kobe to the outside. Oh, a big collision. We've gone bowling into turn 1. Cars everywhere. Bean sliding around. He's going to lose the position to Kobe. Rusty is around. Tar Heels Joe, I believe it was an Alpine that got spun around. It might have been Brian. Kobe in the lead. Adri is P2. Mr. Bean loses out in his P3. I think Brian there was some jostling in the midfield. I'm saying, Brian, I think it was the Alpine that found himself middle 3 and went to the inside, and there was a collision. Car sliding back onto the track through turn 1. And Rusty, obviously the big loser there, will drop 6 spots, but at least we'll be able to get going again. I'm surprised there weren't any DNFs from that. Evote and Craig. The Haas getting by. He started P14. That was P14 start for the Haas. Made it through cleanly. He sits P6 after just 1 lap around Monza. Getting by both of the Saubers there. Bean and Adri into turn 1. Oh, a lockup for the Mercedes. He's going to pirouette around. Hopefully the ghosting will help here, but can't get the traction on the grass. And the tires heated up now. The ghosting is working. Craig, pretty much the same thing happening to him as our leaders go side by side into turn number 3. Or turn number 4. Mr. Bean back in front. Got a good run through the first chicane. Following through Curva Grande and side by side into the second chicane. Outbreaks his opponent and is back in the lead here on lap 2. Obviously, DRS is going to benefit Kobe. He will get back in the lead as they head through Ascari. Yeah, Joe Bido must have been involved in all of this too, as he has dropped 6 spots. Possibly got clipped in that turn 1 incident. And the McLaren will lead them back to lap number 3 as we get a little popcorn effect of fastest laps through the field. A vote P9, up 9 to P5, and has the fastest lap still side by side into turn 1. Mr. Bean makes a move. Is it going to be a return chance for Kobe? Mr. Bean will close it off, but they are nose to tail through Curva Grande as they head towards the second chicane. Bidome will get a spot. Moving to P7. Kobe not quite close enough. Brian P3 watching from close by, but Gord Sauce even closer. Really, these top 5 in a train already. Including Brian, who started P7, and a vote who started P14. It's a bit further back to CAC. And Joe, who's trying to pick his way back through the field. Another pass for the lead. I'm trying to catch all of them, but it's going to happen a lot. Brian, not a good run through there. It's going to back up everyone behind him. Pretty much backs up Gord into a vote. The Haas not able to take advantage of that into Parabolica. Another run down the main straight as we head towards lap number 5. Still tight together, these top 5. Mr. Bean to the inside. later on the brakes. Can he nail the second part of this? But he leaves the door kind of open for Kobe. Brian still holding off Gord. So very close proximity to each other. No moves being made into the second chicane. Big lock from Joe, who did get by Cac, and is up to P6. He's going to start chasing down this lead pack. He certainly has the pace for it. Already making up time. Already pulling away from the Williams of Cac Supreme. Jay Story and Nico John just behind the Williams. We'll get another pass for the lead. As it's usually Mr. Bean getting by into turn 1 and then Kobe getting by into Ascari. Back aboard the Alpine. Sure, we'll see some more moves here back into turn 1. Kobe all the way to the inside. Joe Biden with the fastest lap of the race. Covers the inside. Mr. B takes a long way around, but makes the pass before the braking zone. Another... Ooh. Still side by side as Brian stuck his nose in there. Just to let him know that he's there. Gortsas might get a run around the outside into Curva Grande. He will. It will take P3. Into the braking zone they go. Gortsas into a podium position here on lap 5. Zabit into the pit lane. He comes back out. Don't know if he had damage. Oh, he had started on those soft tires. Maybe they just were not working for him. It sounded like wear was quite high in the Tier 2 race. So starting on the softs, maybe just not working out. Tires probably already at 50%. Joe Bidome gets by a vote to move into P5. His clawing back through the field continues as he has made this a group of 6. Good shot of those 6 all in a straight line heading down into the final corner. Cac leading a trio, Jay Story and Nico John just behind. Jay Story, a good run through Parabolica. Will get to the inside. It might have he's side by side before DRS becomes available. Imagine Cac dumping some battery, trying to stay ahead. Inside line, maybe a little bit of a pinch. But it will take the position, move into P7. Rusty and Tar Heels going at it. Brian and Joe going at it into the second chicane. They're still side by side, and Joe will get the position. So under braking, looks like Joe got slightly ahead. They went side by side into the first part of the chicane, and Joe able to secure it out of turn 5. Looking forward now at Gortsas. Kobe tucked in behind Mr. Bean. Decides I'm not going to try to make the overtake this time into Ascari. Just wait it out a little bit. Long race. Not quite as long as last week's 100%er around Jeddah. I'll say half as long. How about that? If the math is right there. A vote starting to fall away just a touch, but might still have DRS here. Looks like he's going super defensive. Yeah, went defensive. Brian takes the position around the outside. So some good scrapping here in the top 6. Let's go to Jay Story holding off Cac. Oh, Nico missed the chicane. It's going to drop him behind his teammate down to P10. Craig into the pit lane. He will put... Is that hard tires on? Yeah. Did he just go hard to hard? So he joins Zabit as someone to make a pit stop. Yeah, you can see Brian kind of sliding through Ascari. Not really... The car does not look comfortable through Ascari. How about that? And now dropping away from what is now a quartet of Bean, Kobe, Gord, and Joe. It's going to leave him under pressure from the Haas once again into turn one. Got a shot from the rear. And the Haas will move back into P5. This game of tag continues. Will Cack try to get to the inside? Leaves the door open for him. The space was afforded that time, but decided he didn't want it. Yeah, these two still attached nearly at the hip. As an overtake, Adri gets by Cack Supreme. So he's moving back through the field. Oh, I say that. Runs horribly wide out of Ascari. He had a spin through the chicane. Started in the top 5 and is trying to make his way back through. So he took the position and now has to do it all over again. Jay Story to the pit lane. He started on the medium tire. We're looking at a 2-stop now, huh? 7 laps on the medium. We'll say, I don't know, 10, 11 laps on 10, 11, 12 on the hard tire. Back to the medium to finish it. Be interesting to see how strategy shakes out here between the top 4. Mr. Bean and Kobe on those medium tires together. Maybe we'll start to get a hint on who is taking care of them better. Kobe has kind of stuck around in the slipstream of Mr. Bean, not feeling the need to make a move. So he just kind of gets to the inside, just takes a peek, and then happy to sit a couple of tenths behind Mr. Bean the last few laps. And Gord Sauce and Joe tucked in behind each other. Joe, woo, big slide is under braking, trying to get through Parabolica. Slides the rears. Kobe looking to undercut. He hits the pit lane. So it's going to be Mr. Bean versus Kobe and Gord Sauce versus Joe when it comes to pit stops. Hart's obviously trying to go a little bit further. So just 9 laps for Kobe. Let's see where he comes out. It should be well within clean air. Unless Zabit somehow catches here. I don't think it's going to happen, actually. J-Story maybe could. Bode and Brian going mano-y-mano once again. And yeah, Kobe comes out, plenty of space, 5.5 seconds up the road to the next car. So trying to undercut Mr. Bean here. The Red Bull chilling out front by over a second. Joe Biden picks up the first track limits violation of the day. So that's a 3-second penalty to his name. Cannot serve that under pit stop, so it will be served on the timing sheet at the end of the race. It will not be the last. Gord all the way to the inside. We get a good helicopter shot of this. Going defensive. Let's see if he inherits the lead here. No, Mr. Bean stays out one more time. Good run by Joe through the final corner and will take P2. Gord going all the way to the inside, trying to... Ooh, another big slide. So it's under braking, the rear just kind of stepping out from him. So you have a couple more cars hitting the pit lane this time. That's Cac Supreme ditching the hards and Nico John ditching the mediums. So possibly a setup issue. Oh, took a lot of curb that time. Maybe set a little bit more rearward, trying to avoid the front lock, but really sliding the back of the car under braking. Cost him a bit of time to Mr. Bean. Bean just put in his fastest lap of the race, 1:22.9, we'll call it. Let's see, is 11 laps going to do it? Yes, so box for Mr. Bean. Gordsauce will inherit P2. Sorry, as well, he's about to inherit P1 as he gets to the inside. I foresaw it. That's why I said Gordsauce moving to P1, because it was inevitable. DRS gets by Joe Bidome and into the lead here at Monza. More takers. Mr. Bean will come out behind Kobe Plays and Tar Heels critically. A big buffer there for the McLaren driver of Kobe Plays. Undercuts by 2 laps the leader in Mr. Bean and has a driver between them. Leaves 5 drivers yet to pit. Mr. Bean makes quick work of his teammate, but we do have to note that Tar Heels, Mr. Bean's teammate, not going to put up a fight. But he's not going to have the tow from, well, he might have a little bit of a tow, but he's not going to have DRS from Kobe Plays. So, the undercut seems to have worked swimmingly for Kobe in the McLaren. I think 11 and 15, or sorry, 11 and 16 is one-stop territory. Say the lap 8 and 9 pitters are going to be two-stopping this. Bidome leads lap number 12. Good shot there. Edry and Rusty also on the aging hard tires. Kobe already to the rear of Rusty, tucks in and puts down the fastest lap of the race. Has DRS to help him get by. Still side by side as we head down towards turn 1. Under braking. Bit of a lock, but we'll keep it tidy through turn 1. Brian and J-Story going at it. Brian will make the pass there, and Zabit will get a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits. So he will get his second stop, probably hards to the end, but now has the 10-second penalty to his name. Mr. Bean will get to Rusty next. Tries to make quick work of him through the Lesmos. Tucks to the inside. Pretty much gets the move done in Lesmo 1. He gets a little bit of a gap through the second one. No chance to respond, even with DRS for Rusty. As Mr. Bean continues his chase for Kobe Plays at P4. Hard runners still staying out as we hit the halfway point of this one. Lap number 14. Flipping through the field. Devote and Brian B still going at it, still within a second of each other. They're going at it all race. Mr. Bean has caught Kobe already. Gets all the way to the rear wing of the McLaren. Breaking into the second chicane. We'll follow along. Keeping a close eye on the Gordsauce Bidome battle for P1. Gets all the way to the inside. Is there going to be... No, there was definitely not going to be any overlap. Bean realizes this, pulls in behind the McLaren. To the Williams of Gourd Sauce as we head down the front straight. Oh, never mind. Mr. Bean's going to get to the outside of Kobe. Plays into Parabolica and will have the move done, but immediately will not get DRS, right? I guess it depends on where he was at the detection point, as he will move up to P3. Yep, I see no rear wing open. The McLaren's wing flap is open. Is there going to be enough speed to hold him off? Good placement right in the middle. Great car placement there for Bean. Right in the middle of the track. Does not let Kobe get a chance around the outside. And he holds off the attack into turn 1. Adrian K comes out with medium tires that'll hopefully get him through the rest of the race. Splitting the race in half at 14 laps to the hards, 13 for the mediums. So you're able to push through a little bit. J-Story on the back of Tar Heels. Tar Heels the... Oh, I was going to say the only driver left to pit. That's obviously not true. One of 4 drivers yet to pit. J-Story was one of the first to pit on lap 9. Thing on a 2-stop strategy, so this is pretty much a fight for position. Kobe already falling away, and of course as I get away from that, J-Story gets by, and it's because Tar Heels goes off. I'm sorry I missed that. Tar Heels, a mistake out of Ascari, and he's going to go a long way down the order. Down to P10, and Adrian will get to the inside, make that P11. Rusty will hit the pit lane, and at this point, I would not be surprised if Tar Heels will also hit the pit lane. He doesn't. So despite the mistake, Tar Heels staying out, Rusty puts the mediums on. He'll be looking to push for the rest of the race. He's going to drop all the way down to P13. Comes out really close to Craig. Will immediately be in a battle. I would say Kobe had just started falling away. He was over a second away, but now back within 7/10. This battle is still on for P3 on track, and what is probably the win. This is probably the battle for the win. Gord and Joe, as Kobe probably picks up track limits there. Gord and Joe both having to stop still. I wonder if they're just going to go as long as possible. As I say that, Gord Sauce into the pit lane. Joe Bidome stays out. So now Gord tried to undercut Joe. And what is the battle for P3? Bean and Kobe will come by as the Williams team goes to work on that car. Rusty went to work on Craig. Into Ascari. He's going to make his way back through the field with those fresh medium tires. Gord Sauce looking to do the same. He comes out P6. Should at least be back into P4 rather soon. Tar Heels says 16 laps is enough. He will put on mediums as well. Joe, so that means Joe Bidome is the last car on the tires they started with. I guess 18 laps would be a long time to run. This is in reference to J-Story. 21 laps is certainly a long way to go for Craig on the hard tires. 18 is kind of doable, so J-Story could be on the one stop. Joe into the pit lane. He is now on even footing time-wise with Gord Sauce, who just got the 3-second time penalty for track limits. So both Gord and Joe have that penalty looming over their heads. Let's see where Joe comes out in comparison to his rival. Being back out front now that we have cycled through. Joe comes out behind Gord. And Gord Was really hoping to get by a vote there. Was really hoping to get by anybody on that lap and put some cars in between him and Joe, and it just did not happen. Are we about to get 3 wide? We're not, but we're about to get the next best thing. Joe almost getting a 2 for 1. Sorry, that was actually Gord getting by, trying to make it a 2 for 1 on Brian. So I got confused there. So Gord gets by Brian. Now there is a car between him and Joe. He's actually starting to fall a touch back away. And he'll get a vote here and immediately move back into P3. So it could have gone poorly there for Gord. Even with the undercut, Joe was right on his heels. But he makes quick work of the cars in front of him and moves up to P3. Now has about a 2-second buffer to Joe, who is his competition for P3 right now. So now Joe trying to make quick work on his fresh mediums. Can see Gord ahead. Big DRS train. The 4 of them will play nicely into turn 1. Let's see if a vote wants to make a move. No, he's not going to be close enough. As I try to flip to Joe, he gets by, so that's good. Joe is close enough on Brian to pick by him. Sometimes I just need to pick a driver and stay with them. I'm trying to catch everything. That means I miss a lot of things. We'll go back to Joe then. A vote might get close to Gord here, but does not make the move. That's going to leave it open for Joe. Slides his way to the inside. What an overtake from Joe Bido. Flip it to P4. So Gord gets by those 2 drivers. A lap later, Joe does the same. And the battle is back on for P3. See Joe dip a tire in the grass there. He'll put down the fastest lap of the race, a 120.9. Going to be really close and is going to have an opportunity here side by side under braking with Gord. And the move is done. Oh, looks like a vote could have a chance to respond to Gord too. Is he going to be close enough? Starting to fall away at the exit of Curva Grande. So not quite. J-Story still holding with Adri K. This is P8 looking at P7. They're within, he's a second of each other. It's really the only other battle within a second. As Kobe plays, it was a second slower than Mr. Bean last time around. So that lead is quickly ballooned to 3 seconds. So Bean taking control of this race. In the last 2 laps or so. Trying to make up some points on Joe, who sits P3 in the heat of battle with Gord Sauce, with 7 laps to go around the high-speed Monza circuit. Last season, Joe finished P3 in the Tier 1 race here. Mr. Bean won that race, and Furzy was P2. A couple other guys near the sharp end of the field this time, how they did last time. A vote finished P5. Huh. Brian B finished P6. Huh. Oh, sorry. Gord finished P6. My bad. And Brian finished P7. I got a little too excited there. I was like, oh, they're going to do the same thing again. It's still possible. That's not how they run. Gord falling back a touch from Joe now. A vote and Brian. Oh, wow. They have really caught Kobe quite quickly. So Kobe, the undercut, working to get himself in the lead, but now feeling the consequences on the other end of the stint. running well into the 124s. He's 2.5 seconds slower than Joe. He's on fresh medium tires, and he is about to get swallowed whole by this whole group. They will all have DRS, all but him. Maybe Brian will, yep. So here we go, Gord. We're about to get, once again, close quarters into turn 1. Joe will get by Kobe into P2. Gord did not want to try to make the move there. Foresaw Joe getting to the outside. Bit of wheel spin on exit, but still might get a good move here. They're dipping his tires into the grass. It's a cooling technique. A vote still not out of this, as we have it brought back together. Brian's starting to fall away from this group, though. Maybe a vote just taking a little bit better care of those hard tires. Same age as Brian's. And suddenly what was a 2-car battle for first has become a 4-car battle for second. Joe in the catbird seat here, but still needs to pull out those 3 seconds. Same with Gord. He wants to be near the front of this group so he can pull out those 3 seconds. And that way he can't fall to 6th place at this rate. Joe, fastest lap of the race. Kobe still gets DRS. It's going to protect him from Gord for now. But he is in danger of losing touch with Joe. Gord really in trouble. Could be losing touch with Joe. That's 2.5 seconds already. And Gord not able to make the move into turn 1, and it has cost him dearly through the rest of the lap. He's going to have to make a move here on Kobe with DRS as we head down towards Ascari. Eat or be eaten. Can Gord get around? He's still not close enough. Still not close enough. Kobe picks up 3 seconds, so we got an even playing field there. That's going to put a vote in a good spot. For P3 at least. Will Gord make a move into Parabolica? Kobe kind of covers the middle to inside. Gord, a big spin as he tries to get back on the power through Parabolica. I say spin, it was a slide. He did not go all the way around. That's going to really cost him time and momentum. So see, a vote is going to get there. Can Gord get to the outside much later on the brakes? Still side by side with the McLaren. Can they get a tidy line? They can. You can hear the wheel spin as Gord just trying to get by the McLaren. Still side by side through Curva Grande. He just cannot complete the move. He'll have the inside line for the chicane. But the McLaren brakes later, tries to stay on the track, and it's going to be a little bit of a clumsy line. He will hold on to the position. But still, Gord losing so much time from this, just cannot get by. The top 2 running in the 122s. Joe actually catching Mr. Bean by a couple tenths that lap, and Gord held up in the 124s here because he just can't get by Kobe. Same with the vote. I'm sure he has a little bit more pace left. Slightly newer tires that Kobe plays. What about here? Just has yet to pull off a decisive move. Starting to fight the car a little bit through Parabolica, and a vote almost got to the inside. He did get nearly alongside Gordsauce through Parabolica. This has brought Brian right back into the heat of things. He has joined the group. Gordsauce will get to the outside finally. Can he pull it off under braking? Kobe brakes late. To the inside he goes. A tap as he tries to do a little up and under. Maybe there was help from behind as a vote got a little squirrely. Brian was in close proximity as well, so it could have been more of a chain reaction than anything. Gord finally gets around. Can he hold off Kobe? and try to pull away with P3. I don't want to say the battle's over yet, but looking a lot better for Gordon now. Intense couple of laps here, fighting for the final podium position. Side by side we go. Kobe's going to get right back around him. Gord cannot escape. He cannot escape. Because his battle is with Kobe. And really, this is no longer the battle for P3. This is the battle for P5. With the time penalties and the close proximity of a vote and Brian B. So we're on the penultimate lap now. Gord Sauce back out into P3 on track. Kobe sends it to the inside once more. He's going a bit deeper into these heavy braking zones as we've seen. We've seen a couple of lockups from him. Joe still, well, he didn't really catch any last lap. Still, it's still a 3-second gap. And he would need to find a lot more time because of a time penalty. Nico John and Rusty going at it, and we cut to Nico John missing the chicane. So he will gain spots and then immediately lose them. Craig and Tar Heels. Craig getting by Tar Heels for P12. But he has a time penalty as well he needs to keep an eye on. Kobe leads Gord Sauce, Avote, and Brian B. snaking through Ascari. As Mr. Bean catching some lap traffic and will take the white flag. Another strong performance from our Sunday Tier 1 juggernaut. I would say he's been in control. It's been quite a battle between him and Kobe for a lot of the first stint, but he's just run a very clean second stint. Has had clean air. And has sort of walked away with this one, even with Joe catching. Kobe has the inside. 4 cars super close together. There's a tap as a vote finds the grass just a little bit. And I want to be all over this battle for the final lap. Gord super close under braking. Kobe trying to hold him off. We have a car around. Is that Tar Heels that has issues in Ascari? I think he's going to be able to get going again. Just making sure it wasn't our leader, who's making his way through Ascari right now. Yeah, there's going to be a yellow through the sector, so I wonder if that's going to mean Gord not even able to attempt an overtake, really, with the yellow flags. Go back to green. As Mr. Bean hits the line with the fastest lap of the race. Gord Sauce getting to the outside. Can he get by Kobe and secure what will be a P5 on the timing sheet? He has the outside through Parabolica. It's going to be a dead heat at the line. Gord will get out in front and will hold the position, but a vote will get the final spot on the podium with those time penalties. And wow, Adri's actually going to split Gord Sauce and Kobe. So really that move cost Kobe 2 spots. J-Story is going to hold off Rusty Oil Can for P8 on track at least. As I think he got a penalty really late in that one. And it will cost him. Cack will chrome across the line, P11. Craig and Zabit kind of going at it for a lot of the race. I think Zabit put on fresh tires to try to get the fastest lap, but I think it's going to belong to Joe with a 120.4 his final lap. Zabit in his debut will bring that car across the line at 13th. So very eventful battle or a very eventful race with some good battles in the upper half of the field. Probably some good battles in the back half, too. We caught a couple on P7, a couple back and forth a little bit further down the field. But Mr. Bean, a familiar sight for him on the top step of that podium. He was our race winner and gets fastest lap. Evoke gets driver of the day. He did start P14 and gets a podium. So great race from him. Adri gets most overtakes as he had to make his way back through the field. And Nico John, it gets cleanest driver. I hope you're going to be my friend, Nico John. Who else? Evoke, be my friend. Mr. Bean, be my friend. So your final results, Mr. Bean from pole gets the win. Joe Biden P2. Evoke, as we mentioned before, from last on the grid to P3. Brian B is 4th. Gord Sauce 5th. Adri gets 6th at a bit of a recovery drive for him. Kobe gets 7th after a really strong first stint. Rusty is 8th. Jay Story is 9th on the two-stop strategy. Nico John 10th. Cac Supreme 11th. Craig is 12th. Zabit 13th in his debut. And Tar Heels will finish a lap down, P14. I'm going to grab Race Director. Yeah, grab Race Director. So it is available. Let's see, what is next week? You guys will probably be back with Fridge next week. I'll probably back on Tier 2 action from Austria. So catch Austria next week for both Tier 2 and Tier 1 on Sunday. This Wednesday we have Mexico for midweek, both the midweek tiers. Make sure to check that out. I think I'm going to be on Tier 1. I was supposed to do Tier Midweek 1 last week. Didn't work out for me. I'm going to try to do it this week, so catch Midweek Tier 1 action from Mexico on Wednesday at 8:30 American time, Eastern time. Until then, I've been Hoop BK. This has been PRL, Performance Racing League. Have a happy Easter.